All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I am so glad you could be here and come and join me for this first presentation of the year. I call it Radical Reset. I'm so excited to bring this to you. I'm bringing 45 years of military leadership experience. I've spent all my life coaching and mentoring people and leading them to be able to and training them to be able to get into really, really hard situations and not only make it through, but excel. And I'm excited to bring this particular presentation to you because, in all my years, I've made New Year's resolutions and set goals this time of year. And I noticed after a while, they just don't stick. And I wondered why. I've wondered why for a long time, and I studied it, and I found out why. So it's pretty well known now that 95% of people that make New Year's resolutions this time of year just fail within the first couple of weeks of January. They certainly don't get through to February. So here's my question for you: if you've experienced anything like that, what if this year wasn't just different? What if this year was extraordinary for you? I believe I found a formula for helping you achieve that. And I believe you're here because you're ready for more. You're ready for more in your life, in your relationships, in your career, not just another goal setting. This is just not just to make more goals, and not just to make more resolutions that fade by February. I want this to be your year to rewrite your story, the year that you architect your life, the life that you deserve with clarity and confidence to turn your ambitions into reality. And again, I believe that I have found a formula for doing that. And I'm going to show you part of that formula here. It really starts in the month of January. If you want to set yourself up for massive success and progress for the year, you got to do the prep work. You got to connect the dots in ways that you haven't done, quite frankly, in the past. So I want you to first forget about waiting for the right time, because the right time to advance your life, to make more progress, to create breakthroughs is right now. Because for far too long, we've chased transformation. And you hear that all over the internet this year, people promising you transformation. They believe that happiness lies somewhere at the end of massive change, but I don't believe that. What if I told you that real fulfillment doesn't come from transformation, but from progress? Consistent, meaningful, unstoppable progress. So in the Radical Reset workbook that I created, and if you haven't received it yet, I'll share the download with you. The link, you can get it, download it and follow along. In fact, I'll do that right now. There you go. There's the link. Just go ahead and download that and follow along. I know that you'll love this program. And in those pages, it's designed for you to be very introspective, to do some self-reflection. I just don't want you to scribble down your goals. I want you to really uncover what drives you in this workbook. It's going to help you do that. And what your unshakable needs of aliveness and connection and things that give your life purpose and growth mean to you. This isn't about just fixing what's broken. In fact, I will tell you right now, there's nothing broken for you, okay? You're not broken. There's nothing wrong. There's just something missing. And I believe Radical Reset is a way that it's a tool that you can leverage to figure out what's missing for your life so that you can architect an amazing year ahead. Okay, so is this for you? Let's jump right into the slides here. And I want to just go through this with you because look, we're all high performers, but look, if you love challenges, if you love growth and feeling like you're on the edge all the time, growing and pushing your limits in high achievement and service, this presentation is absolutely for you. If you feel like a cog in a machine, and I certainly felt like that for many, many years, particularly at the end of my career, if you feel like you're a cog in a machine and you're barely able to contribute something meaningful, this is the place for you. If you're feel like you're not progressing fast enough or far enough, this is right for you. Social media, is it consuming your day and your night? Are you doom scrolling all the time? This process, preparing yourself in January, is going to help you get over that, overcome that habit that leads to procrastination. If you're easily overwhelmed, 11 years after I retired from the military, I was struck with a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress. Never knew that I had something like that before, but it changed the course of my life because it explained why I felt so overwhelmed so often. If your future feels uncertain and you want more, but you don't know where to start, this is the place for you. If you've got a high sense of agency, like a sense of urgency, that there's so much that you want to achieve, but you just don't know how to do it, you don't have a roadmap, I'm going to give you that roadmap here. If you're ready to achieve more in every single area of your life, professionally, personally, socially, this is the place for you. And, if you crave a structured environment and a structured system for gaining more peace and happiness and fulfillment and joy and success, I want you to know you're in exactly the right place. So I'm glad you're here, and I look forward to giving you this presentation. So I want you to just think about this thought here. This year, I want you to commit to doing what you love. Do what you love this year so that you love what you do. I'm going to show you 4 steps in this presentation to achieve breakthroughs and have your best year ever. These 4 things you've got to do to set yourself up for success this year. It's all in the Radical Reset. But let's be clear here. This isn't an overnight fix. The days of instant gratification and quick fixes and empty promises are over, my friend. If you're looking for a shortcut, you're not going to find it here. In fact, I'm going to challenge you to take the entire month of January to do this work, to set yourself up for success. Do the preparation work to set yourself up for success in 2025. So if you're looking for a shortcut, you're not going to find it here. What you will find, though, is a proven roadmap. And this is the roadmap. It's just 4 steps. It's grounded in reality, and it's going to get you further than you've ever gone before. I can promise you that. I don't promise transformation. That's bullshit to me. I do promise progress. And I know how to create progress in myself and in people. I lead by example there. And that's why I believe that you're here and you will benefit from this presentation. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. You didn't arrive at this stage of your life in a day either. And what got you here isn't going to get you there, wherever there is for you. And what I mean by that is, look, we all have aspirations. We all have dreams for our lives, but the habits and the skills and the knowledge and the abilities that got you this far in your life, they're not going to get you to that next level. That's why I'm presenting you with this program here. So following this roadmap, that is your key to thriving in 2025. Faster than in any previous year, and faster than the person on your left and your right who's not doing this work. So get the download, follow along. It's in the chat. Just go ahead, go to that link, download the workbook and follow along. You can get that free copy right there. And it's yours to keep. And I hope that it's transformational for you. There's that word. And we have to be very careful about that. I just want you to make progress. I can promise you will make progress if you do this work. All right. There are 4 things that I said so you've got to do in January to set yourself up for success in 2025. Here's thing 1, assess and reset. Creating a breakthrough year begins right here by slowing down and reflecting on the path that you just traveled in 2024. Because growth isn't about chasing perfection, and success isn't about transformation. It's about progress. The best way to create meaningful progress is to be really clear-headed about where you are right now. And that's why we're starting with a self-assessment in Radical Reset. I call it the 11 A's, and it's a tool designed to evaluate the key areas that shaped your life in 2024. This isn't about judgment or dwelling on what could have happened or what might have been. It's about gaining clarity and awareness and setting the stage for the year you're about to create, the year you're going to architect. This is about progress. I'm going to hammer that term home again and again. I do not sell or push or advocate for transformation, but I do promise you progress. Because what you can measure, you can definitely improve. So this self-assessment in the Radical Reset, it's like looking at yourself in the mirror. And when I do this, I score myself a 1 to 10 on each of these 11 A's to see what I can learn about myself and my performance over the previous year. You can do the same as I take you through them. Okay, so let's go do that real quick. I've got a lot to cover, but I'll just share the 11 A's with you so you can get a sensing of what they are. And then you can use the workbook. It goes into a little bit more depth and detail. It also gives you some journaling prompt. If you haven't journaled before, this is a great time to begin. I've been working with an amazing client right now who was really resistant to journaling. And I just asked them just 3 to 5 minutes every morning. What are you going to do? What are you excited about? What are you grateful for? And now he's sending me pages and pages, excited to share his life with me because he's learning that journaling is really helping him create more and more progress and faster progress in his life than he ever imagined. And now he doesn't know what his life would be without it. All right, let's go through this, each of these 11 A's one at a time, and I'll describe them very quickly, and you can score yourself from 1 to 10. First is appreciation. How grateful were you? How present were you throughout the year of 2024? How much did you appreciate others? How much did you appreciate yourself and the things that you were able to do and achieve? Next, attitude. Did you show up with optimism and high energy and positivity at home and at work with the people that you interact with, with your boss in your social circle? What was your attitude like in 2024? Score yourself from 1 to 10 based on the information in the workbook. Next, ambition. Were your goals bold and driven by possibility? Did you dream big, and did you dream so big that it scared you and that it gave you so much ambition and energy and necessity and agency to get after those dreams? Score yourself from 1 to 10 on ambition in 2024. And then go to alignment and ask yourself, did your actions reflect your values and calling consistently throughout the year? Did you lead by example? Did you show others the way? Did you do your best? When you made mistakes, did you own them? Did you set the example in everything that you did? Were you in alignment with your core values? Next, achievement. Did you take charge of your life and communicate clearly? In other words, did you speak your truth? Did you make meaningful progress? And even if your goals weren't fully needed, did you achieve what you set out to achieve? Next is assertiveness. This is where you take charge of your life and speak your truth. And I'm not talking about the kind of assertiveness that, is bullying people or intimidates people. I'm just talking about you can be very calm and speak your truth and stand firm on your values and what you believe. How assertive were you in 2024? Score yourself between a 1 and a 10 on that one. And then affection. Were you open, giving, and emotionally available to those who you're surrounded by? Your family, your spouse, your significant other, your partner, your colleagues at work, your boss, the people that work for you, in your social circle, your friends, your acquaintances. Did you express appreciation to them? Did you acknowledge them? Did you make them feel seen and heard and understood and valued? Affection. Score yourself a 1 to 10 on that. What was it for you in 2024? Next is altruism. Were you open? Did you contribute to others and give generously of yourselves? Did you volunteer? Did you Did you consider the needs of others and volunteer your time or your treasure to helping others get a leg up? Score yourself a 1 to 10 in that area. Next is acceleration. Acceleration. Did you lay the groundwork in 2024 for the success you want to have in 2025? Did you plan your year out? Did you architect your year in 2024 so that in 2025 you could take off running and get after your goals faster and more efficiently and make faster progress? Next, awakening. Did you grow in your awareness, your wisdom, your self-discovery? Did you spend time educating yourself? Did you spend time understanding or figuring out what skills do I need to learn this year to advance my life, to make faster progress, to go to that next level? And finally, acceptance. Have you released feelings of anger or resentment that could sabotage your life? You know, so often we go through life feeling resentful or anger toward people that have wronged us, that have harmed us. And I want you to know there's a place for anger and resentment. But when we hold on to those emotions for too long, they can become toxic and they can begin to disempower us. And when we do that, eventually, without letting go, without doing something to remedy that situation, we start sabotaging our life. And then we blame it on somebody else, but it's not them that's hurting us anymore. We're doing that to ourselves. So self-acceptance is such an important part of making faster progress. Did you release those feelings of anger and resentment? Or are you still holding on to them? I'm going to be talking about that throughout the year in other presentations I'm going to give. But for now, these are the 11 A's. So score yourself on a 1 to 10, and this will give you a starting point for architecting your year in 2025. So if you were following along, how did you score? You know, because this, again, is your starting point for 2025. And there's no need for judgment here. There's no need to be hard on yourself and be difficult on yourself. Just consider this input to designing and architecting your year. All right. That's thing one. A self-assessment is always a great way to understand where you've come from, how far you've come, so that you can figure out and architect and design what you want to do going forward. And that's thing two, decide and organize. Your breakthrough year has got to start with a decision to commit to making real changes, to commit to making real progress this year. You know, most people's goals are disconnected from their bigger, deeper desires. We're going to talk about that in the Radical Reset. They lack the foundation that's needed for lasting commitment. So in 2025, I want to challenge you. Let's write a different story about the goals you make. That's my challenge to you. And this is your roadmap for achieving it. Okay? Because goals that aren't aligned with something bigger, they're just wishes. All right? A goal, let me say that again. A goal or a New Year's resolution that isn't aligned to a higher desire is just a wish. It drains your time and energy, and that leads to procrastination and unfulfilled promises. And then you'll be right back here on January 4th, 2026, saying, dang, I wish I had architected my year. I wish I had done better planning in January so that I could have a fabulous February through December. All right. So let's go through each one of these. I want you to be clear on what they are so that you understand how these all come together. A task is just a concrete, actionable step that when you complete them, contributes directly to your goals. Going to the gym is a task. So is losing 10 pounds. If that was your New Year's resolution this year, that's not a goal. That's a task. What's the higher desire that losing that 10 pounds is connected to? And we'll talk about that in just a moment. So those are tasks. A goal is a specific, ambitious, measurable outcome that you want to create. But it's just a milestone toward fulfilling your desire. If you achieve a goal, that's great. You're making progress, but you haven't achieved the desire yet. A goal is a lower level outcome that you want to create as you work towards something bigger. Most people, when they have goals, they set routines. And when you set a routine, that is just a repeated action that you take each day to fulfill a goal. One of your goals is to get to work on time or to get to school on time. Well, you have a morning routine that gets you going. But do you have in your morning routine a plan to take care of yourself? Do you do self-care? Do you journal? Do you meditate? Do you exercise? Do you eat a proper meal to set yourself up for an energetic, enthusiastic day? We talk about that in the Radical Reset, setting specific routines to achieve your desires. So important. We're going to get that into depth and detail about that as we go. And here are your desires. Your desire is your why. It's your why for pursuing anything that's meaningful in your life. It's what motivates you. And without a clearly defined desire, your efforts lack purpose. They lack energy and direction. Every human has 4 primary desires, and you're going to see that in part 3. And I'm going to help you develop your goals based on those desires. That's what Radical Reset is all about. So can you see why goals that aren't aligned or connected to a higher desire are just wishes now? This is how you do everything in your life. Everything that you in your life is task driven. You've been so busy focusing on your tasks and completing tasks so that you can get to work on time, that you can get to school, you can get the kids to school, that you can do that next thing, that you haven't really made time or had time to figure out what your desires are. So this is where you've been spending most of your time. And I want to help you get away from that. Okay? You've been so busy focusing on tasks that you barely have time or energy to get clear on your real desires. You develop routines just to survive the days. And your goals, well, they're just wishes because you don't have the rest of it architected. But what if it was the other way around? What if you did the prep work in January to start architecting your life so that you're driven by your desires instead? 2025 is about changing this paradigm from being task-oriented and task-focused to focusing on fulfilling your desires. Then, what are your desires? Well, that's thing 3. All right? That's thing 3. The 4 human desires. Everyone has 4 desires. You and I have the same 4 desires. And the foundation of what motivates you most is your desires. It guides the routines that you establish. And I can tell you, I can tell what you want in your life because we all have the same desires, and there are just 4 of them. Let me walk you through them. The first is aliveness. Aliveness is the desire to experience vibrancy and adventure, passion and connection. When we lack aliveness, even the greatest achievements feel empty or hollow. That's why we don't integrate them. The achievement doesn't feel our desire for aliveness. So we keep chasing after the next thing and the next thing. Like in the military, we got promoted. We started to work right away toward the next promotion. We chase that next thing, but we don't really feel alive. That's not aliveness, chasing after the next thing. Aliveness is an excitement for the day when you wake up in the morning. It's getting up, getting out of bed, and just being enthusiastic about your life and what the day ahead it has in store for you. So what is it for you? What is aliveness for you? The next desire is connection. We're hardwired for connections as human beings. Whether it's Maslow's love and belonging needs to Tony Robbins' need for love and connection. Humans crave relationships that ground us and give life meaning. Deep connection is the desire for authentic, lasting relationships that provide support and love and mutual growth. It's feeling seen and heard and understood and respected and valued. What is that for you? What does a deep, meaningful connection, vibrant connection look and feel like to you? Journal about that. Make that clear in your mind. Visualize that so that you can start architecting your year and creating that for yourself. The third desire is meaningful pursuits. So to pursue something meaningful is to chase after fulfillment, not just success. I love the quote, success without fulfillment is failure. I believe that with all my heart. If we're chasing only after success, we set ourselves up for disappointment. And there are a lot of successful people out there who are miserable. There are a lot of wealthy people out there who are bored. All the money in the world doesn't make them happy, doesn't make them feel fulfilled. That's because they're not pursuing something that gives their life meaning, something that gives their life a sense of aliveness and connection with others. So that's meaningful pursuit. What is it for you there? And the last human desire is growth. Growth is life's ultimate pursuit. We all want to become more. We all want to become a better version of yourself. Without growth, we stagnate. So what does growth look like for you? What does your plan in 2025 look like for growth, for improving yourself professionally, personally, intellectually, emotionally? And this takes us to the last part of the radical reset, then, where we put this all together and we architect your year by stacking your practices. And so what do I mean by that? Well, this is about breaking your desires into routines with goals and goals into tasks. I'll say that again. We're getting very clear about our desires and then creating routines to start moving yourself toward those desires and making goals that support those routines, that keep moving the needle. This is about creating desire-driven routines. You'll identify a lot of clutter and distraction when you do this. But this is an essential part of architecting your year, getting rid of the stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. So we set goals that are measurable and they work, and then we create tasks that move the needle. Here's what that looks like for you. We've talked about goals and tasks and routines and desires and the hierarchy of those, right? I want you to be very cognizant of these, and the workbook takes you through these, but then you take your desires and get very clear on what they are. What is aliveness to you? What is deep connection? What does that look like for you with your partner, with your spouse? What's a meaningful pursuit that gives your life a sense of purpose and joy and expression of happiness? And what does growth look like to you? When you understand and get very clear on your 4 desires, you can then create the routines that you need to start moving the needle toward those desires and setting goals that are all in alignment with your desires, and the tasks will follow. This is what we're after here. This is the foundation of the radical reset. And you're challenged to summon the best of who you are and then monitor your progress. And a great way to do that is with the Radical Reset Accelerator. Now, this is my first presentation on LinkedIn this year, first event. I love doing this, but sometimes my post-traumatic stress gets in the way, and so I hope that this has been meaningful and helpful for you. And I want to be able to teach the Radical Reset Accelerator to you as a way of putting the Radical Reset into action. I'll teach the implementation of Radical Reset over 4 Sundays in January. In week 1, we're going to assess and reset. In week 2, on January 12th, we're going to decide and organize. In week 3, on Sunday, January 19th, we're going to get to know your guiding desires. And then in week 4, we're going to put it all together and stack your practices. And I want to just invite you to join the accelerator. It starts this coming Sunday at 4 p.m. I'll put the link in the chat. Hey, Angela. All right. And I would love to see you there. We're gonna implement the Radical Reset over 4 Sundays, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna build community, and we're just gonna enjoy architecting a new life. And I just want to challenge you then as we wrap this up. I hope that this has served you. I hope that you'll join me in the accelerator. We'll be doing events like this on LinkedIn all year, and I know that I'll get better at this stuff. I'll share my 45 years of military leadership experience and everything I've learned about in personal development. You know, there's no reason to go through 2025 alone and be back here. Let me fix this here. There you go. And be back here in 2026 saying, dang, I wish I architected my life. I wish I would have done a self-assessment of myself in 2024 to see where I was and figure out what my desires are and then align my routines and goals and tasks to them. There's no reason for that. If we do this together, you will set yourself up so that in January 2026, you'll be excited and thrilled for the new year to come. This is about building community and accountability and support and celebrating as we go. So I hope this has served you. Thank you for spending some time with me today. And I wish you a very happy and successful and progressive new year ahead. We'll see you in the next event. Take care.